All right, so we are back on this truck this morning. This is gonna be day 3. This is where we got out on day 2. I actually just uploaded day 1 and premiering it for this afternoon, so running about 2 days behind on the video. Got everything primed out, got all the door handles primed out. They're textured from the factory, so I went ahead and put a little bit of primer on them so I can slick them out. I did not prime this piece because there's so much going on with the buttons and everything, but I did scuff it because we're probably gonna paint it, so it'll have a little texture in it. But I got the primer around where all that stuff was peeling. I did miss this spot. I have no clue how I missed this. Normally I like to prime everywhere my two-tone meets because there's a little line there. But it's not gonna be that big of a deal. If you miss it or you don't want to prime it, you just gotta make sure you get it with some wet sandpaper. So still got to pull that out, where you can see the bed's end down there. You can see the kink, so got to get Mike's bare hands over here later on this morning and pull that out. Mike's the human frame machine. Got all this side primed out. Everything gonna block that. Get some guide coat on it this morning. And same ordeal with this side. You know, it's all primed out. So you can see the wheels are off. You seen in the and I did not even. No, I did. Yeah, that's primer. The two-tone line was down here. I was gonna say I missed that, but two-tone line's down there. As you can see in yesterday's video, getting the wheels. I worked late last night. You seen on the time lapse in the last video, prepping the wheels for paint. And so I worked late last night. Went to try to mount these up myself last night, but it's not happening. I used to mount these up like literally practically. It felt like every Friday or Saturday night we were changing tires back in the day, 10, 12 years ago. But this is a big rim, so you have a big spread when you're trying to lean over it and walk both sides, and you have to keep your bead down on one side. So I said I was gonna wait and have my guys help me and give me a hand in the morning. So I wanted to do a test run to make sure I wasn't running into any issues, even though I've done these 100 times probably, literally. But everything went smooth. So what we're gonna do this morning is we're gonna show you how to mount these up if you're on a budget. I used to do this all the time, so you can too. Mount this up at your house, no matter what size rim you have, no matter what size tire, pretty much. Just keep in mind that the lower profile the sidewall is, the harder it is to mount because you don't have flex from here to here. You're gonna see here in a minute why that comes in. Basically, your tire has to be, when you're walking it, your tire has to be exactly like this, okay? You can see how I put my hand in here because this tire is actually down below this right here. So this is set in. So what that does is that creates where the rim is a circle here, and then the tire is basically a circle over here. For me, that's an extreme example so you understand. So it pushes the tire this way. That way it has enough lip for the tire to walk over. And then you can see this is the last spot we walked it over. It's on their right. So you can see how that side was down. And that's what creates when you air up a tire and it pops and makes a loud noise, that's because it is forcing itself back over that lip that's basically the same size of the inner diameter of the bead, and that pops it on. So you can't start with your tire on the bead. It has to go below the bead, and that's the reason why all rims have this little indentions where the centers are less than the outside on measurement. So less, a smaller diameter in the center than on the outside. That way it gives you room to get the tire over the rim. So the reason what makes it hard on these, you need an extra hand, is because when it first goes on, it's going to want to look like that side. It's going to just pop right over the bead and sit on the bead. And so you need help getting this side down below the bead. And you're going to have tire spoons across. So you're going to have like a triangle pattern. You're going to keep this side down, and then you're going to walk these up like this. So it definitely helps if you have a hand. If you're doing like 35 on a 17 or 36 on a 17, you could do it by yourself. You tuck one tire spoon underneath your knee, on the back side of your knee or your leg. But you'll see in the video when we start to walk these on. Like I said, I'm going to show you on one and then probably time lapse like 2 of them. All right, so you just got regular Dawn dish soap. You're gonna take it and you're gonna put it around the bead on the inside. That is going to be your lubricant so that the tire slides over the bead. You're gonna do this on both sides. Not just one, Mike. Both sides. But you're only gonna do one first. If y'all go check out Mike's channel, Blanton Dynamics, you can learn how to change oil. Nah, I'm just playing. Mike's got some cool videos, welding and all that kind of stuff over there. When he feels like posting videos. He's one of them YouTubers that you don't see for a month. He says he's busy, but we all know what that means. So then you take your tire, flip it around so that your soap side is down. You're always going to put it on the rim facing down first against the floor. Make sure if you got nice rims that you protect it. Put a sheet down or something. And then put it on and walk it around. There you go. That's how you put the first side on. The first side is always way easier than the second side. So for this side, then you'll take the same thing, you'll run your soap around it, and then we're going to start walking it off. Soap up this side, same way. One day, he's the best of the best. The best of the best. Have you a rag available because this mess gets messy? All right, Ed, you ready to put one on?
Yeah, I'm close.
So we're gonna get that down to where it goes in past that indentation. Just hold that right there, Ed. Try to just stay to the side of the camera. Switch that. Put your hands on that one. You ain't got to do no pressure right now. Nothing at all. All you're doing is just holding it. All he's doing is just gonna hold it. He ain't got to put no pressure. Little bites at a time, y'all. All right, now y'all can see how Eddie's here, I'm over here, and then this one's here. So now I need to get that side back up. I need to stay pretty equal off of that one. So switch back to this side, Ed. Grab this one and that one. Again, no pressure. Okay, now we gotta make sure, start making sure it's below the feet. Too big of a bite. And walk that one that way. Yep, sit that down below. Okay, are we below it? Yep, okay. So now we're below the bead. So now all Eddie needs to do is pretty much keep pressure right there. Make sure that stays down. No, I mean you ain't gotta do pressure. Just like that, you're just keeping it coming off. Putting on tires, y'all, is not about pressure. If you're having to put pressure, then you're doing it wrong. Push it right there in that ridge with your foot. Keep your thing right there. Just try to get, yep. Okay. That's good. No pressure. Hold it. You just don't want it to come back up. The more, if he was to put pressure there, the harder it's going to make my job over here. Normally you use the hook end, so you can take the hook in and get it on the edge of the lip so it don't pull. But in this situation, since I don't have a lot of room, I'm going to use the flat end. Okay, we're almost there. So on this one I got to this funky place where it is, I can't get a thing under there, but it's like about to go, so just take you a hammer, there you go. That's how you put it on there. Forgot again to put the bags in there. So these are your weighted bags. I'll show you them here in a second. If you remember to put them in ahead of time, that would be the best, obviously. Oh, that feed needs to go down. Get that side. If you want a mic for rent too, I'll send him with Eddie on the plane.
Next time, right?
Bags next time. That's what we got to remember next time. So when you want to put your first side on, get it on, and then go ahead and slip your bags in. Just you don't want to do a bunch of like jarring the wheel around with the bag in there because they can bust open. And you want to make sure you take the bag out of the wrapper. So these are 24s inch rims, 37-inch tires, and these are the bags we're using. I got these from Duke's Tire. They looked up the correct size for this wheel and sold them to me. I imagine you could probably find these on the internet. So here's all the information, weights, everything. So, but they come inside of a bag. So you take the bean bag out of the bag, and once the tire starts turning, it'll actually bust open, all the beads will go in there. And then when you're a little kid, if you've ever put a little bit of water in a bucket at the beach, slung the bucket around in circles over your head, and the water stays in there, that's basically what happens with the little tiny pellets. I mean, if you understand the laws of physics, then that makes sense to you, but some people actually don't understand how it works. I've had people over time ask, how does that work? What's the name, Mike?
Centrifugal force.
Centrifugal force. I can't pronounce all them big words like Mike. Mike's fancy. Mike's fancy.
Close enough.
So the little beads will actually go in the spot that it needs to balance it out. Every time the vehicle stops, all the beads will fall to the bottom of the tire, and then every time you take off, it'll rebalance. So you'll have a perfect balance every single time it takes off. And if you want to know more about it, literally just Google or YouTube bean bag balancing or bead balancing, or some people even use BBs. So if you don't want to order these in your area and you just want to go to your local Walmart and buy BBs, that's what we used to do back in the day. But that's how you put one on. I'm gonna time lapse the other two. So one more thing I'm doing real fast before we take this thing over to paint is inside these cracks. I did them all by hand last night, you know, but I have these at the house, but I didn't know where one was at here. Mike come in this morning and said he had one, so I'm just taking these and getting all up inside that little edge real fast. So you need to go back and wash the tires and everything again to get the soap off, you know, because your tape, when you go to paint these and you tape this, it's not going to stick to all that soap, so you really got to degrease them good. And then right before they go into paint, before we actually paint them, we're also going to take some 180 grit, and I'm going to scratch these edges up a little more aggressive just to help with paint chip, and then blow them off right before paint. But right now I'm just going to go around, get all these centers out, you know, and then wash them, and then move them all over to paint. All right, so here's our colors. I went ahead and messed with mixing up the colors today. Started out with this, and it went south fast. I'm making a custom color. You can already see what's going on in there. So that color is freaking amazing, but I don't want to paint the truck that color because the door jambs are staying blue, because I'm not going to keep it. You know, I'm not doing the door jambs. I mean, so this color is amazing. It'll definitely get saved. Ed was talking about painting his truck with that. So then I made this color. This color is amazing, but it's a little too far off the dark blue door jambs because the color it's on there now is dark blue. So that's a little too far off. So then I started cutting some more up and mixing some other ones up, and we have come up with this. So the amount of metallics that's in this color is ridiculous. I couldn't even imagine the cost if you went to make this, but she hits. There's the metallics. So this thing is going to be ridiculous. It resembles a dark blue gray you know, shade. It has at least 30 different colors in it, or metallics. So it's pretty crazy, but there's what it looks like. So that's what color we're going to be painting the truck, and it is going to be ridiculous in the sunlight probably. All right, so there we are, where we are at day 3. Just pulled her out, got the wheels back from paint, got them on the truck. Man, them things are hitting. Y'all just seen the paint color that we're gonna put on this. So we're gonna get this thing blocked all out today, sanded. You can start seeing it coming together, which is pretty cool. I am leaving the worn hubs open. I'm not putting center caps on it. And I'm pretty sure the back I'm not gonna put center caps on it either, since I'm leaving them off the front. So I do like the way that the bolts look around the center of the hub. I do think it looks good. But yeah, it's starting to come together. Slowly but surely. What you think, Ed?
I like her.
Ed's liking her. Says she's Eddie approved. Eddie said he just wants to drive it half tore apart and hit something with it. Eddie likes to hit stuff on my trucks.
What are you doing with LEDs? These are for people 21 and under.
They just come with the truck, man.
What the hell, Bobby?
So there you go. She got the new meats on her, Ed. She's got to get her blocked out now. Absolutely love this color. The wheels, they turned out really good for what they were.
Says higher up too. I had to jump up there to get in there.
Yeah.
You know, we're only 5'6" around here.
But they turned out good. I mean, they're full of flaws and full of, you know, things. You've seen how bad the wheels were. You know, but all we're trying to do is just improve what we're working with, basically. You know, not trying to go out and spend a bunch of money buying brand new. So to tape these, they were a lot harder when we did them, because you know, the tire, the way it's laid out, so there is some paint around the edge of the tire. It'll wear right off, it'll flake right off. It's not a big deal. But I think they turned out good for the most part. So besides, you know, like I said, they got flaws in them. I expected them to have flaws in them, so it's not the end of the world. We're just making do with what we got, not trying to spin an arm and a leg, just improve it. But I absolutely love that color, man. It's a shame that they were in such bad shape, and that, you know, the finances are not there to, you know, like sandblasting would have been the correct way to do it. But it's fine. It's got some dust all over it from picking them up, getting them back here. But pretty sick color. Pretty sick color. So I think it's gonna look good, hopefully, against the other one. It's tough doing this color against blue. You know, this truck would be amazing black, but we don't want to change the door jambs. It's the biggest thing, is you don't want to change the jambs. So I think this will be all right. I think it won't be too terrible against the blue. And, you know, if somebody buys it later and they want to change it up, they can do that. So what we got to do now that we got it out, got the wheels back on it, let's see here. We got to get this thing blocked out. Got to get everything slick. Probably wait till this afternoon. The wheels are still curing from earlier. And then get the truck back washed again, and then it will be time to pretty much get this thing ready to get some paint on it. Yesterday we did run it and get the roof done black. So the roof is already done. All the vehicles I've had for a long time have always had black roofs, so it's kind of like my signature. It don't really show up great right now because of how dark everything is, but once we get the new color on, the roof should show up a whole lot better. So that's where we're at. We're gonna keep rocking and rolling with it, and then I'll catch up with y'all on, you know, whenever we get the next step done. So there's the roof. You can see the roof got done black, and we ordered that piece. Roof's all done. It's got dust all over it. It's been sitting up for, you know, a few, but yeah, roof's painted, roof's done. Went ahead and ran that so that was separate. Still got to smoke the third brake light, but I've had black roofs, so you just can't really tell. With the new color, you'll be able to tell a lot better, hopefully. And if you don't, it's all right. It's just subtle things that basically makes it my truck, and I've had black roofs forever. There's where we're at, day 3. Fell a little short. It's 5 o'clock. Ed called it. Ed said it was time to go. He's locking everything up. So fell a little bit short on getting it washed today, but hopefully tomorrow morning, which would be day 4, I think we're on. Day 4 we'll get it washed. So I got to finish doing them rockers down there, sand them rockers out, you know, and then we'll we'll get it there. Biggest goal is just to get the body paint done. That way you can start, you know, assembling. You can clean interior, do radios, mirrors, you know, get it over to alignment, all the basics on the body, and then finish the tailgate and the hood, you know, grill at a later date. So that's gonna be it for today.